Hi, welcome to Rajal Nair. In today's video, we are going to discuss about budget analysis for any of the projects. As we all know, as a part of project management, based upon the request as well as the requirement given by the customer, we need to submit budget and all everything to the customers. So as part of it, budget analysis is one of the prominent and key element, which being a team, one has to be done. So for that, in today's video, I'm going to explain you how this budget analysis will be made, which is on Excel, so that to have an overall high-level understanding for any people who are working in, especially into project management roles. Of course, this is even, it is always essentially as well as important even for a business analyst and as well as other technical teams, so that we'll have an idea over how this budget analysis and all everything will be taken place. But whatever I'm explaining you, this budget analysis is based on the traditional practices of application development, like whenever we use this waterfall model, V model and all that. But as far as when we are talking about agile budgeting, that is different, because in agile environment, whenever we do the budget, it depends on the kind of sprints what we develop. One of the way of allocating the budget depends on the sprint, whatever the sprint we are going to start. And so based on it, budgets will be allocated. That is different anyway. But whatever I'm explaining you, this is all something relating to the budget, relating to the traditional practices of application development, what usually we do in applications. This is nothing to do with technology. This is nothing to do with domain. Now here, the first thing is that, first of all, we need to mention about the name of the customer, right? So at the same time, we have to know about the phases of the project stages and all that. Now, this is there generally the first stage where the budget. So sometimes there are two things. One, sometimes customer will give us the budget. Sometimes customers say that this is what my budget is. Within that budget, you have to complete the project, right? That's what generally sometimes customer will propose. They have their own budget. Customer is expecting you to complete project within their budget limits. This is one point. Other, sometimes what customer is usually do is customer will give us the requirements, and customer will say that to come up with budget from our end, right? So customer will say that to give us the budget from my side. So it depends on the requirements and all. What budget and how much it will be taken and all. They will ask us to submit the budget, right? Either way it is. Let's say, for the example, stage one, where we have taken a budget, which is on dollars, of course, I have taken here. So 416,30, right? So this is what I was taking. 4,16,030 is what the budget, for example. I'm just giving you the rough figures. Okay. So in this, if there is any kind of changes and all, everything will be made further, right? Because this change request and all, everything will come next level, not in the first stage. Whenever we are doing the budget analysis and all, we don't consider the change request initially. Whatever the actual budget is, what will be taken into account. For example, if there is any kind of changes which even we are calculating, let us assume that the total revised amount is about $492,010, right? So this is what the complete revised total budget in the first stage, which is there. Now here you can ask me, what is meant by stage here? Stage means normally whenever there is an application we develop, which is a long-term commitments which normally we have. So there are different stages of implementation of the projects which we do. So this is the first stage, I can say. On that grounds, if you say this is the first stage. So wherein this $492,010 are the total budget which is allocated for the first stage of the budget, first stage of the project. Now here we need to mention the hours, right? So what are the different, how many hours will it be taken? Like 2005 hours, where even for change request and all, assume that change request was taken into consideration. It was 480. So the total will be 3068 is what generally the total number of hours. I'm talking about the hours which is required for a project to be completed or a particular work to be completed is what we have. So there are two things. One is about the budget. Second, the number of hours will be taken to complete a particular thing, right? This is what the total was. Now here, this is where generally we will be mentioning the days, right? So what weekendings, weekdays and all everything I have taken. Of course, this is the old one. So I've just taken the old this thing and all that. So here we have to mention, it is depends on the role specific, right? So we have taken a role as project manager as first. Second, we have taken a business analyst as second. Technical leads means technical managers or some technical leads, all that. Next, principal architect. Principal architect, whoever is working on the projects. Generally, principal architects are not 100% required in each and every stage of the project. Whenever we are working on the project, initially to start with, to provide a layout over the technical infrastructure of the application, all that on a high level note, solution level, principal architects are required. Hence, principal architects, the reason why you can see principal architect and all everything, those considerations were limited here. So after that, we will be taking the role for a business analyst even as we have taken, because multiple BAs might be there. There won't be one BA. Multiple BAs might be required here. At the same time, whoever the developers, systems architects, any couple of technical leads and all everything will be taken into consideration. So whatever the columns you can see right from the project manager to the technical lead. So these are the people who are required for a project to work with. These are the people, and how many hours these people can work, etc., will be mentioned. Now, this is where generally this financial analysis normally we do. This is what is something essentially important when we are working on, because financial analysis is what we do. So this to do this financial analysis and all, first of all, we have to take a number of hours into consideration. How many hours based on the people who are working for the project, followed by the cost will be taken per week. Normally weekly 5 days. So per week calculation will be taken. And there will be some cumulative process of cumulative financial analysis techniques we use, like chi-square testing, etc. Right? So we have different financial modeling techniques which normally we use, where this cumulative frequency conclusion will be taken, followed by this whatever the remaining and all everything will be mentioned. So this is something relating for all the days, right? Whatever the days we have taken and all that. So hour to hour, week to week, that information will be taken. And finally, we will come up with the conclusion part, right? What will be the concluded amount? And if there is this budget, whatever we have taken is in negative or positive. So that's what generally the information will be taken over here. Followed by this, whatever the expectation of the budget in terms of the hours, what is that we have taken. So followed by this, whatever the budget which is expanded to date and all everything. So that information will be mentioned over here. But please do remember, whenever there is a calculations I have taken, so the which one, whatever the one which I have mentioned on the board are the actual ones, actual facts, actual data we have taken. Non-bold are the forecast, because these are the forecasting. Depends on the previous amount of time they have spent and all. Whatever we have taken is the forecasting. So all this, whatever you can see, this is the forecasting work, because financial analysis is a forecasting. So we have to see what is the probability of project, whatever the budget we have taken, whether it will be landed under the profits or losses or in the break even. So that is what we want to know. So on that regard, whatever I was mentioned in the non-bold kind of and all everything are the forecasting ones. The actual figures are something which I have taken as bold. This is what and how usually this budget analysis will be done when we are working on application development. Especially this is the one will be prepared by the project management team, because project management team should have an idea over this budget analysis, all that. Majorly, because project management team will be involved in budgeting, like we involve in budgeting, all that. Apart from that, even of course, if having an idea about even for a business analyst, as well as for the technical team nowadays, if you know about budget analysis and all, maybe these are all will be helpful for us in growing professionally. So I don't say that technical people will be involved in budget analysis, all that, but majorly for project manager. But knowing about how these budgets will allocated, how these analysis will be made. If we are learning all this, it will be an additional advantage when we are moving to the next levels in the roles of IT. So it is always helpful for us to have a better idea, right? So that it is all, end of the day, these are all advantages for us. So when you are moving to the next level. This is all about this video. If you have any questions, if you have any queries in regard to that, followed by any training as well as coaching needs relating to project management, especially project budgeting, etc. So please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.